Where are you joining us from? I am so excited to be here again with you. I took a very needed and intentional pause, 2 weeks, and now we are back to our usual routine. Usually Mission Soul Live happens on Tuesdays at 3:30 p.m. Today's a Thursday, and next week I'll broadcast the show from a totally different part of Mexico. So I'm very excited for that. Beautiful one. So today I wanted to bring this topic and open the behind the scenes of how I'm building momentum at this present moment inside my mission brand. So many of you already know, and if you don't, well, now you know. Inside of this Facebook group and also on my YouTube channel, there is a full training on how to build momentum in your mission brand. So you can go to Mission Soul channel on YouTube or find it here inside the group. And that is a full class on how to build the momentum. Today, we are talking even more specifically about how to create as a wave of momentum in your brand and how to leverage that. And I'm also bringing the behind the scenes on my current content and posting strategy, how I'm leveraging stories. I'm giving you a bunch of tips and strategies that you can go and apply right after this live. And the purpose of this is to continue to scale, to continue to increase your visibility so that you can receive more humans in your paid containers. So the first thing I want to say when it comes to this is that, and this is a little bit off topic, but this is very important for you to listen, for some of you to listen today. And it's the importance of having people inside of your paid containers and the difference between a paradigm of clients and leads to having humans inside your offerings. The main difference is that, well, both paradigms, both things are anchored into very different paradigms. Leads and clients in one hand is rooted in paradigms of the 3D matrix and the 3D matrix marketing. And so when we have a look at this grid, what we see is there's profit, there is status, there is numbers. And pretty much like this is the drive when it comes to marketing in the 3D. And when it comes to receiving humans in your paid containers, in grids of higher templating of marketing and anchored in new earth paradigms, what we find is that when a person pays to be inside of your container, for example, inside of your mystery school, inside of your training, your certification, the moment that they say yes, and the moment that they invest in themselves, they are starting to absorb and soak in the codes that are available. When you create offerings that have a soul, the transformation starts the moment the transaction happens. And the more you learn how to co-create your offerings inside of this platform, the deeper it gets. The more they receive, the more intentional you can be on infusing codes. Now, the other part to this is that these are the people that are going to walk away and carry around the codes, the specific light source, consciousness, intelligence within your field that you're here to anchor on earth. These people that works with you are the ones that take that codex and keep anchoring more and more and more of that light, right? So for example, inside of one of my biggest offerings, which is strategic support. So basically, I'm your right hand when it comes to strategy. And I am your mentor for whether 3 or 6 months there is just so much that gets to be shared. There is just so much templating around how we want to do mission in a very expansive way. And I can see, for example, with my different clients, especially the ones that are also like Ruia, for example, who is a person that is doing a lot already, like to increase consciousness, how my codes, some of my codes, you know, it's like she goes and goes with them into the world, the way she transmits them, everything, it's different, right? Just like we receive things and the way we interpret, we receive them are different. But in a sense, they have little pieces, little codes. And then like the people that receive from her and the people that receive from the people that receive from her. And so like, this is just one example. And so the reason I want to bring this at the beginning of the conversation, even though this is a little bit of topic, is because I want to really invite you in this moment right now to let go of, you know, like to just relax, to relax your nervous system, to relax your atoms. What you are doing is not sales. What you are doing is not selling. That can feel contracting. I freaking understand. I so understand. And it's not supposed to feel that way. And when we step into a paradigm where we understand that in actuality, our mission as mission souls of light is to anchor light in the grids of the universe, of Earth. And we have been doing this in other incarnations here on Earth and in other galaxies and the whole thing. Then we get to really see that the biggest amount of transformation and the biggest amount of light coding gets to happen when someone works with us. They say yes to the codex. They take it with them. And from this paradigm, and for those of you watching the replay, or for those of you live who want to comment in the chat and let me know you're here, you are alive. Let me know how this feels in your body. Let me know how this awareness changes the whole game. It is very important that we receive humans so that we can continue to spread the mission on Earth. Like one of my clients, Tanisha, we worked on a private container, private setting, and she's sharing abundance codes with people in Latin America. So you see how every person that really pays to work with her is like saying yes to the codex, is going to embody the codex, is going to go and spread this into places where this is really needed. And so this is the paradigm shift that I also want to invite in, because at the end of the game, we do all of this to be able to receive more humans. And the way we are going to receive more humans and help transform the Earth the most is by having more people saying yes to the full codex and working with us. So let me know of this part, like how this lands for you. And now let's go straight into the training, today's training. Yay. Amazing. Just making sure that everything is good. Okay. You see that there are 2 comments. Let me see. Da-da-da. Here from Memphis, Tennessee, USA. Greetings, Mark. I can hear you. Yay, Lala. Thank you so much. Okay, now I think I'm going to be able to see the comments even more. Just give me 1 second to set this up. 1 second, Cedar. Beautiful. Woo. Okay, waves of momentum. What are they? A wave of momentum, it's us intentionally bringing attention to us and to our mission brands. It's us calling in the energy, calling in eyes, putting ourselves out there. And as I said, creating actions that pretty much bring people into the spheres, into the different spheres of your mission brand. Why they are important? They are important because when you have when you increase your visibility, which basically this is what one of the main things that we do when we build momentum and create a wave of momentum, is we increase our visibility. And when we increase our visibility, then this is a very special moment in time where just like the wave, imagine like the wave, you're like surfing in the ocean, and it's like, oh my God, here comes the wave. Where if you know how to ride the wave, this is going to mean conversion from an outsider into a fan, from an outsider, oh, this woman, Lala, oh, this woman, Patricia, oh, what is this about? Into a person that converts into a member of your community, into a raving evangelist of your brand, into someone that stays. And this is how, and this is the beginning of a relationship, right? So marketing is all about relationships. And funny enough, like sales, I'm going to call it sales, or receiving humans in your offerings, same thing. Well, different but similar. It's all about relationships. So this is the beginning, the initiation. Okay, as I said, there is a full training on how to, what momentum is. Like I went really deep on that one, on everything momentum, but here's some of the ways, here's some of the things I'm going to list as ways in which you can build momentum in your brand. Bring more eyes, bring more people. Number one is collaboration. Who could you collaborate with? For example, could you interview someone to broadcast that interview in your Facebook group? Could you go live with this person, with someone in your industry, with someone that has already your clients, someone that has, a platform where people that vibes with your frequency, it's in. So this is a great way. Podcasts are another way of creating momentum, because what it means is that when you are invited into a podcast, is that you are going to be exposed to a whole new audience. Live events. When you create a live event, a live workshop, and you bring, for example, like even if it's free, doesn't matter, and you create a special energy about that event, you hire a photographer, and they show you being a speaker, they show you teaching, presenting, and you grab these photos to put them out on social media, in your posts, in your stories, and you show the full journey. This creates a bubble of excitement, a bubble of momentum around your brand. And this is also working in your positioning. Another one is being a speaker. So this could be you being a speaker inside of someone else's program. I've done plenty of this at the beginning of at the beginning of this brand, even before launching Mission Soul on Instagram and the other platforms. So you can be a speaker of a live event, on a mastermind. This is something that, of course, like you can reach out to someone and offer yourself, offering like a talk, a signature talk or something, and then you know that, oh my God, this will help your clients so much, and in the spirit of collaboration. And of course, like this can be also paid, right? So you get paid to speak in someone else's platform or to teach their students. This is another way to create momentum in your brand. Another one is to organize a summit, because when you organize a summit, the way summits work is there is an agreement, you sign the agreement, and then you agree to distribute posts, emails, stories, and content around the summit. And all of these people signs up into your main email list. So this is a huge way, and this is why you see lots of summits happening. So these are some of the ways in which you can create momentum. Some of the mistakes that people fall into when it comes to creating momentum is, well, they don't know how to, well, number one, they create the wave and then they stop. They ghost their audience. So it's like there was a hype of energy and then silence for weeks. The person is not showing up in stories. And when this happens, it has the absolute opposite effect of momentum. Momentum creates attraction, excitement, and disappearing after a wave of momentum, and it increases trust. And when you disappear, well, basically like just sabotages that trust, right? So creates lack of trust in the marketplace. Another mistake is not knowing how to leverage it, not knowing how to leverage the momentum with other actions that, as I said, help your people go from an outsider, someone, you know, just like how do you say it? Yeah, like someone, yeah, I miss the word. I have it in Spanish. I don't have it in English, but basically someone that is just watching from the outside, right? And you miss the chance to convert them into someone that is like, oh, you know, converts into being a brand evangelist, being a brand fan, and feeling like they found home with you, right? So all of this is what we're going to be talking about, like how to prevent this to happen. And also I'll be sharing all like a bunch of examples of how I'm doing it. So the let me just have a look at my notes. The thing here, the number one thing here is, do you have, okay, so hear me out. If 10,000 people were to land in your page today because you go viral, let's say, or because Oprah talked about you, and so it's not 10,000, forget it, it's like 2 million people just showed up into your brand, started seeing your website or your social media presence, etc., or go into your funnels, whatever it is. If 2 million people or even 10,000 people were to show up today into your brand, do you have avenues built in your world to convert those people into your email list, into your YouTube channel, into your Facebook group, into paid programs, into mentorships, into courses, into digital courses, or not? If 2 million people landed today in your page, would they be able to see and understand at the rapid speed the type of page that you are about on Instagram? Who is it that you serve? How is it that you help humans? So we want to be able to create waves of momentum by drawing attention to us, and then be able to, and then have the architecture, then have the avenues to make all these things something that you can really leverage in your favor. All right. So from attention grabbing to conversion, and this is the conversation today. Now that we had this conversation, let me see if there's something else that I need to bring right now. Yep, I'm gonna share my screen, and I'm gonna talk to you a little bit about what I'm doing at the moment inside my brand. And so yeah, and then share some examples and share like the behind the scenes, behind the posts, and of my posts on social media, etc. So what's going on inside Mission Brand? And just before I go into that, into Mission Soul, just before I go into that, Over the past, like, I think it was like pretty much like a full last week, I had to take some time off as I was processing very, receiving very huge upgrades in several different areas of my life, received a quantum surgery. It was pretty full on. And then all my reality started reconfigure really fast. And I needed to take a pause. And I'm gonna go live probably after this training. So for those of you watching the replay, go and find that live. And talking deeper about the dynamics of taking a pause and self-love and shame and guilt, and that conversation is going to be fire and juicy. But I had to take a pause, and so like it was so amazing to come back in full force this week and knowing how to create a wave of momentum. This week I knew that a podcast episode that I recorded a short while ago was going to come out. I had a case study that I prepared a short while ago, also ready to go. And so it was like knowing how to create a wave of momentum. I went pretty much from not posting and not showing in the stories because of a good reason, because of upgrades and personal reasons, to being able to engage with my audience, bring the right conversations, increase engagement, bring more humans, and make this in record time. So this is another big reason why this is like, I was so excited to bring this topic to you. All right, so now we're going to go into, okay, so what's going on Mission Soul Brand? Babes, you know, it's like building a brand is not for the faint of heart. So many people in the industry choose to not build a brand and choose to go straight into instant results, instant gratification, and I can understand that very well. But if your results, if your sales always depend on money that you inject on ads, if they always depend on you know, big launches and hiring a big team and the whole thing, and then you cannot sustain that energy, which is what having a brand allows you to do. Things can explode and then implode. And I've seen this with a lot of people over the years inside of this industry. And the reason why the most people don't choose the path of building a brand in parallel or at all is because it's a very different game. It's a game that requires patience, requires time. It requires strategic thinking. It requires nurturing. It requires, it's like pretty much like preparing a field to, instead of growing some plants, being able to grow big, like have huge amounts of crops, of different varieties of food, of plants, of edibles. And so inside my brand, right now, here's the behind the scenes. Right now, we are at the 10-month mark. So I pretty much started with Mission Soul in the month of August. And yeah, it's amazing, right? So from the beginning, I was monetizing before, I was monetizing by the time that I started putting myself on social media with private mentorship clients. And right now we have the membership and more products are coming, more offerings are coming soon. So we are a brand in the building stages, right? So this week, for example, we had the podcast. And so when I knew that I was going to be featured on a podcast, I knew that more people were going to come into my platform. I also knew that this is also for my future. So people on in future timelines are going to listen to that episode in a short period of time and in a matter of years. So I wanted to make sure that certain things were set up properly so that, again, if I receive a lot of humans, I'm able to have them understand what I'm about, see my expertise, and hire me, right? So with this in mind, knowing that the podcast was coming through, I finished to prepare a case study, which is what I released the day of yesterday. That is a big thing, because the difference between testimonial and case study is that case studies allow you to illustrate in depth the work that you do with clients, right? So have a look, check out my socials this week, because I'm sharing with you how I create amazing case studies with my clients, and this is going to be very beneficial for all of you. So with the podcast, I line up the case study. Now, before that, remember I told you that I wasn't, hi Cindy, so good to have you here. Remember I told you that before, like last week, I wasn't able to be as active as usual on social media. So the first thing I did was to bring a post that created conversation inside of my socials, in my community. And this post, I'm going to share my screen and share the whole bit, also has the right coding. It's talking about the things that are in full alignment with what comes next. And what comes next for me is a big group program and also a mastermind launch. So that is a huge thing in my universe. So I am aligning myself already to a future launch with the topics that I'm talking about. Then coming out from a pause, I'm going to show you right now the 2 posts that allow me to start creating this wave of momentum. Then the podcast episode came, then the case study came, and then I'm going to share with you even more on how I'm leveraging that wave of momentum, how I'm fishing to create even more momentum with my content on social media. And then we're going to go into, okay, and then how I leverage all that. Beautiful. So share my screen right now. All right. Very good. So, because I didn't even have a lot of time to create posts on social media, I just posted a good photo and all the text in the caption. However, I'm going to use all of this text to create a carousel very soon. Now, this post right here, and I want to share also another thing. I noticed that that I've been seeing more posts on Instagram that are just the photo and then the caption. This is because Instagram changed the algorithm, adjust the algorithm recently again. And so now these type of posts are popping up more. And so I was like, oh, amazing. Like I had the awareness to see something, see a trend. And so I pretty much used the trend to be able to put something out there with the right coding. So this post is all about buying and signing up to programs in the right frequency and 3D matrix marketing, plugins and shit, and choosing from sovereignty frequency. And so right here, this post sparked conversation with 2 amazing people inside the community. Another gorgeous woman who is a leader in the industry for medicine women, she came and chimed in and shared these beautiful emojis. And then I shared this post also inside the Facebook group where it has at least 5 comments, and share it in my Facebook, also in my Facebook personal, I use my Facebook personal page because Instagram shows it to a lot of, like, way more people than the content on my business page. So I 100, because I am my mission, I use my Facebook page. Right. So I started to spark things up with something that sparked conversation, because then, like, what does the algorithm also reads is that people are active in with people are engaging and interacting with your content, right? The next thing I did was, the day the podcast came out, I shared this post. What I did to go from being an overwhelmed entrepreneur to creating space to hold a relationship with a high value man while running 2 mission businesses, managing my household, raising teenagers, leading a team, and more. This post is a mix of storytelling plus a post that builds character. Inside this post, I am allowing the new people that come into my universe to understand what I am built of, and to also get a grasp on the journey that has brought me to now, right? So, it's like I'm sharing my mindset and my internal rewiring, and I know my audience is going to resonate with this, my beautiful community. I'm being vulnerable. I'm sharing the chaos that was going on, and the gratitude also with that version of me, because this is never about shaming and poo-pooing past versions of us. Then I say, today you see me leading a global movement while sipping sparkling juice with my partner by the sea of the Mayan Riviera. However, the journey to now is the side of leadership that you can't see, and I would like to share more about it here. So it's like the day before, in my stories, I was pretty much like at the beach, on a beach club, enjoying life. I posted a couple of stories and there wasn't a whole lot of context, but people could see that I was at the beach. The sea was light blue. My partner was there and I was very happy. I was enjoying and living my life, right? And so, like, I am grabbing some of the context that I created. I am creating some context for what I shared inside the stories, and I am bringing it here to build character, right? So this is part of it. Then here's what I did to go from overwhelmed entrepreneur to creating a life that honors my full creatrix expression and heart desire. So one thing very important about my audience is that my audience is full of light worker leaders. Whether you are in the beginning stages, whether you are a leader in the middle of the journey, whether you are ahead of the game, you are a leader, guys. If you are listening to this, you are a leader. Like, you're the definition of leadership. You led yourself to incarnate during this timeline. So let's not even don't get me started on that conversation. And so the one very important thing for me to be able to show all of these light worker leaders in the personal transformational industry is that I'm also a leader. That self-leadership is, I want to build also, I'm very intentionally building character inside my mission brand around self-leadership and showing others the way I lead myself, because I want my audience to understand that the reason why I am able to help them and lead a community is because I lead myself first. I want them to get that I care to that at that level, at this level, right? It's like I'm showing with my self-leadership, I show up for my audience. So that's why building this aspect building this like character aspect for my brand is very important. So I'm doing that, right? And so I'm saying also something very important, you know, like being able to raise teenagers and have a partner. Like these are like big things, you know, like they consume a lot of energy, time, and whatnot. So then the podcast came out. When the podcast came out, well, my divine sister client Sarah, she has a hypnotic tone of voice. Her voice is beautiful, and she takes pride on the artistry behind this podcast. And so when she makes her podcasts, she broadcasts it into YouTube and then into Spotify. And because of this, yeah, like she creates this beautiful introduction where she talks about the person, you know, that she's featuring. So what I did was I went to my computer, I downloaded the video from YouTube, and I created a snippet just with this beginning of the video that talks about me. I uploaded into CapCut. That is like the app that I use a lot for video editing. And I simply wrote the title, Your Business as Your Soul Mission. So this is positioning myself also. Podcast interview, I'm saying where this came from, right? And then I added subtitles to what she's talking about. So with this, I created a little reel. I created a cover for it. And like I shared this all over the internet. I even shared the full video into my stories because it is like 45 seconds. So that people that didn't watch the reel, they watch it in my stories. So I'm drinking some water. Awesome. Now let me refresh because there is actually new content. Awesome, you guys. So from here, I created the next post. And the next post is the famous case study with my divine, gorgeous sister, Rubia. How my transgender and psychic mentor client went from not attracting clients and having inconsistent cash months to creating a magnetizing brand and stabilizing into 10K plus months. So this is very important. This is a type of piece of content that I share with you in the monthly content plans inside the membership, but it's like how my client went from this thing, that negative thing that my other clients are experiencing, to these positive things that my clients desire, right? So that's the formula. Keywords, I'm using brand, right? Brand, etc. I'm describing my client. I'm not just saying how my client, I'm saying trans-channeler and psychic mentor client. So this, if this was to be featured on the main page on Instagram, on the explore page, then if you're in the vibe, if you're a light worker, this would spark curiosity and you would come to me. Inside of this beautiful case study, what I did was, well, I'm talking about my private mentorship. When my private client started her journey in my 3-month mission brand scaling mentorship, actually, I made a little mistake because it's mission business accelerator, but I have another one that is mission brand scaling. So it's kind of like, it's okay. I'm taking the opportunity of portraying how I work when we are in a one-on-one setting to talk about and position my offerings. This is key. I go into explaining the gaps that I found and the things that we fine-tuned. I grabbed parts of the main video, which is the full video is on YouTube, the full video is in my wall, it's everywhere, everywhere. And I created snippets, square snippets, and then I added subtitles again with CapCut, I believe. More text, another snippet, praises on her because she's doing amazing and it's all, you know, her work. I was her helper during that period of time, but my clients are powerful and amazing. And I added, you know, like the description here. So the rest of this is, okay, so now that I initiated. I show you how I started to initiate this bubble of this wave of momentum. The other things are, I brought back Mission Soul Live. I took a two-week pause. So now I'm running this training inside Mission Soul Live, which is the weekly show that happens on in the Facebook group. What else? So that is keeping my community active. Another thing that I did, let me see how I can show you. Wait. I want to show you on my profile. Just give me 1 second. I uploaded the full testimonial into my business page. And now what I'm trying to show you is my wall. Oh my goodness. All right. So in my wall, I did a little bit of a celebration. So I said something like, I'm celebrating 80 humans inside my Facebook group and 8 people in my YouTube channel, which, by the way, from that post, it came up to 82 in the group and 10 in the Instagram on the YouTube page. And those type of posts are amazing to for people to celebrate you. Like, people love celebrating others on Facebook. And so, like, the little post right there, you can go to Marta Valverde personal profile and you'll be able to see it. And then besides from this, now from this point onwards, what I'm doing here is sharing lots of educational content. All right, so let me show you right here. For example, how to go from the paradigm of having an audience to leading a loyal community in 5 steps. So this is an educational content piece. And I have 2 other lined up for this week, right? Because educational content is essential when you are growing and when you are building a brand. It creates trust because people are able to witness you being consistent with certain topics. It creates trust when people gets to receive a lot of value and see your expertise, and because you're giving them pretty much things that they can walk away with and apply that same day, like, it's like, wow, it helps positioning your value a lot. So I recommend that at least for the first 2 years of you building your brand, and also when you want to create a wave of momentum where it's like, okay, a lot of people are coming through, like that, you always have educational content, but especially within that window of the first 2 years, you can have anywhere between 70 to 80% of your content be educational content. So this is why I'm also doubling down on educational content. And then the last piece here is that in my Linktree, let's have a look. I now added the option for people to apply for a one-on-one mission business strategic support and mentorship. So when people go here, like, they can see that, well, we have the branding at the top, mission business accelerator, one-on-one mentorship, right? And when they fill out the form that appears after they select the time, they're going to send all the information, they apply with the budget that they have available for coaching. And so depending on these, we're going to be able to, I'm going to be able to calibrate and see if they can, you know, if they can they can have me in a higher container, or we can have a VIP day, right? So I prepared that infrastructure so that when people come, like they can see this. I added the links to the podcast, right? Because this is also for the people in my brand. When they see all of these things, it's like, oh my God, like they go and listen to the episode and they get more depth of who I am, what the brand stands for, and all of these things. Of course, I'm always like bringing people to Mission Soul Live. And in my stories, as usual, I'm focused on inviting humans on more conversion. So for the case study, because it is something important for me that my people receive and reads and the whole thing, I share the full carousel. All of the slides of the carousel, I share them in my stories because I know that some people will read them here and they won't go and read the actual post. At the end of it, I am bringing the branding of my mentorship because, again, you want to create awareness around your offerings. Sometimes people don't join your offers because they didn't have enough time to learn from them. And so like this work right here, this is what I was talking at the beginning of the training. It links with, like it's with the long-term vision. Some people will see this and won't join the mentorship or have a VIP with me until a year from now. And I am okay with that. This is why I move. This is why I'm increasing visibility. This is why the next stage for me is all about increasing my visibility because I am amazing. I know what I have in my hands. I know the difference I can make in someone's life. I absolutely 100% believe with inner knowing that I am the best inversion someone can make right now inside their mission to bring things to the next level. But and some of my people already know it, but they are not there financially, and that's okay. But it is my job. It is not their job to build my brand. It is my job to build my brand. And so I want to expand more people to know me because there are people who are praying right now for someone like me, just as there are people who are praying right now for someone like you. So right here, I brought the branding of my mentorship, a description. Mission Business Accelerator is a high-level strategic support mentorship to amplify the impact of light workers and visionary entrepreneurs leading global mission brands. If you are here to anchor higher timelines for humanity, and you have a mission coded within the DNA and in the blueprint of your soul, I'm describing my clients, we need to work together. Whether you seek VIP day support, so I'm positioning the VIP days, or you seek to have a strategist by your side for 3 to 6 months, the first step is to fill out this form, and I am adding the link for us to jump on a call and for me to explore how I can best serve you. Or you can DM me the word ready here, right? And so I'm even like highlighting the word ready. So I am inside my stories all of these days, you'll see me promoting something, bringing people from one place to the other. Today, I post these posts that I made on Mission Soul, the next stories, and also the ones that I shared in my personal page, brought one person into the Facebook group. Do you think that I am like, oh, only one person? I am like, yes, amazing. I love this because this person first bought from my brand when she decided to join, to follow Mission Soul on Instagram. And now it's like, wow, she's ready to go deeper. She's ready to receive deeper. Like this training for her is going to be like, wow, seeing how the strategist built her own brand is like, it doesn't get better than that, right? So I'm so happy for this person to be able to receive this because I know that her mission is enormous and I know what she has in her hands. Give me 1 second to charge my computer. Some people, when I celebrated the post, when I did this celebratory post saying, I'm celebrating 80 people in my Facebook group and 8 people in my YouTube channel, 2 people went to YouTube and they followed me. And then they follow me on YouTube. So now that means it's more touch points with my brand. And that's how you position yourself top of mind, and how you actually go from attention grabbing to conversion, right? Now let me show you the next stories. So I'm promoting Mission Soul Live, which you're watching right now, right? And so this is a sell. This is me selling. Like, I'm selling people join the community on Facebook, watch the trainings. The other day, I delivered a training on here on Mission Soul Live, on the live, and I think that 1 person was live, right? Sometimes I have 0 people joining, which, by the way, guys, like, are you crazy? Like, I'm so sorry today. I actually had to join late because I was setting up the tech. I'll be more on time. But seriously, for those of you watching this and being like, oh my God, this is so much value. Yes, and you should be joining live. So you can ask questions and have them respond live. But anyway, that was me giving you a little kick in the butt. You know, when people join these trainings, also someone was like, there was like just like 1 person watching the whole training. And then I was on a private session with a client, and she was like, yeah, the other thing, you did a training on how to build momentum, and that was so perfect. That was so perfect. This is what building a brand means. You are preparing the soil to harvest massive crops, a variety of fruits and vegetables and greens. But at the beginning, all it looks like from the outside is you're just preparing the soil, sweating. Maybe your bottle is empty. This is a long-term gain, but it pays off. So she said that, and it was like, you see, it's like you never know which of the seeds that you planted blossoms. She had to have several touch points with me to book in for a private session. What if I was just thinking that I don't need to do any of that? I'm not above that, even with almost 10 years of experience. You're not above that. No one is. People with huge platforms started like this. The last one today at 3:30 p.m. inside the Mission Soul Playground Facebook community. Tap here to join. I'm branding my group, right? So my beautiful souls, from here, once again, like, you'll see me posting educational content. I'm gonna create a couple of reels where let me stop sharing. A couple of reels where it's more like entertaining and opinionated content. I'm also going to keep promoting things in my stories. I'm going to keep bringing storytelling, and I am going to amplify the next season inside of my brand. It's collaboration. It's bringing more humans. As I said, probably it's going to be like go crazy on YouTube or go crazy on TikTok. It's also going to be keep repurposing my content inside of my for my email list, because that's amazing. Like, I have like 70 humans already there, or 60 something. Yeah. And this is how I am creating my own. I went from silence to igniting a spark in my brand, and starting and initiating a wave of momentum that I'm currently riding in the most beautiful and graceful ways. I trust this was massive freaking value for you. I am going to upload this training into YouTube. So if you're watching me inside the YouTube channel, you can also find there the other training on how to build momentum. I am probably going to be doing this shows and lives again with through Zoom, because then it's like I get better lighting. And I love you so, so much. We see each other inside the Facebook community, and I'm always just DM away if you desire to have top-notch value, amazing, world-class support to grow and scale your mission brand. See you soon.